It is Easter Monday. Good morning and a warm welcome to your perfect day start of the morning brief. I'm Kaido Kikiolu.
And I'm Jeff Rose. I want to thank you as always for being part of the program and happy Easter. We will continue to say it. Jesus is risen, and that is why Christians celebrate today. So to all our Christian brothers and sisters, it's a resurrection that happened yesterday, and the government has given today as public holiday. So you can take your time with your family, chill, enjoy the show. And we'll promise as much as possible to do the best we can to make sure we bring you up to speed with the happenings in the country. Coyote, I almost said Bukola.
But it's okay. Bukola is taking some well-deserved rest. You know, Monday means business.
Exactly.
For us, whether it's a public holiday or otherwise, but we'll try as much as possible to give you that breather, that much-needed breather, because it's, it goes without saying, it's been a very intense period, politically, economically, security-wise. It's like everywhere you turn, there's something to talk about, something to not to be too cheery about. Yeah, we've seen some cheery news here and there, which we'll walk you through. But let's help you to relax this morning as much as we can. But let's get right into what we have for you on the morning brief today. Well, your guesses are as good as mine. Easter plays a major part when it comes to our lineup, but we're also paying attention to some of the issues around justice, you know, the justice delivery system and all of that. And we're getting started with the issue of unlawful detention of some innocent Nigerian citizens, just like Alabi Quadri. The legal process has raised lots of questions for people. Was it framed? If it was framed, how? Why would that happen in such manner? Thankfully, he's regained his freedom, but the police has been speaking. But the lawyer has countered the police's claims about this not being a frame. So today we'll be joined by that man you see there, his lawyer, as we walk through these issues for Quadri and for other Nigerians.
And that'll not be all. Today is, as we said, it's part of the Easter celebration. It's a public holiday. So what is really the essence of the season? We'll be speaking to Pastor Yemi David, who is the senior pastor of the Global Impact Church, discussing the entire essence of this season, especially how everyone has to navigate this very challenging, difficult time in our history, because everywhere you turn, there's a challenge one way or the other.
Oh, yes. So that's one to look forward to. Speaking of that, we'll be heading over to the world of music. Yes, what is a celebration without music, right? And we have Iman S, a singer and songwriter who uses her music to inspire a sense of hope and drive for cultural pride and social responsibilities. She joins us right here on the program.
All right, absolutely. So don't forget, our WhatsApp number is up and running today on the program, and as well as every other day. But CTV Morning Brief is a hashtag. You can also send us your emails, send us your messages via emails, your email, and also send your videos. I wanted to say videos and messages on WhatsApp so we can amplify your voice. Maybe as we continue, you're going to get a question for the day that we will need to ask you.
Yeah.
So that you can respond with messages. Last time we did ask a question and your responses were quite good, and we want to continue to make sure that the voices are heard right here on the program as much as possible. So Kaide, just before we get to the details, I've been seeing the back and forth between the, is it a back and forth? I think a response by the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, to I think Nyesom Wike, over certain statements that was made. I don't know, he alluded to the fact that Nyesom Wike had said he's going to report him to the disciplinary committee for, is it questioning the Supreme Court judgment or so, or that he lied concerning this reverse defection issue and all of that. But there's certain things some of us will have to put clear, neither for and against. First and foremost, there is nothing wrong with questioning the decision of the Supreme Court. There's nothing legally wrong. Our Constitution gives us the freedom of expression. The Supreme Court can make a decision. You can vehemently, totally disagree, but you're bound to accept that decision because it's a final court. The reason is simple. First is for national unity. Second is for institutional preservation. That's why we're careful who is sent to the Supreme Court to make decisions, because sometimes they can be wrong, sometimes they can be right. Oputa has put it finely. I don't want to repeat what Justice Oputa, the late Justice Oputa said, but simply saying we are right, whether we are right or wrong, we are right, simply because we're the Supreme Court. But there's nothing that says you cannot question the decision of the Supreme Court. So let me say it again. You can question the decision of the Supreme Court. You can disagree with their decision, but you are bound to accept it.
And it's at that point they say you agree with it. When you accept it and you have to abide by it.
No, you can disagree. Say, look, I don't agree with their position. They are wrong in whatever you want to say, but whatever is a final decision, if they say move like this, that's the right way to move, and you feel this way, you will move like this. For institutional preservation, because everybody keeps debating it's going to be an issue. That's why we have to be careful the quality of people that's the Supreme Court, which is the issue that was contentious in that reverse defection issue, because the issue was not before the Supreme Court. But that particular part and the contributory judgment spoke extensively about it. Even in the lead judgment, the court even said the court cannot speculate in certain regard. So, but they contrived it in the contributory judgment to say, okay, because the dramatis personae as well as the appropriation bill, you cannot isolate, and then adjudicated extensively around it. That became a very controversial issue. So just my 2 cents on that matter, because part of what we do here is to help inform and educate people. So people don't just, we're not running a dictatorship. There's a reason it's called constitutional democracy, and the principle of this democracy is captured in Section 14 of the Constitution. Democracy and social justice, which is why they reeled out all of those things. That's very important for all of us to learn.
You know, somehow the Rivers case just, came up yet again on Easter Monday. You're like, come on, can't we have a breather? But I mean, these are the stories making the rounds, and as much as possible, we'll ensure that you get a taste of it. Okay, and maybe a very healthy dose of it, that is.
And then the Reverend was on fire yesterday, commending and criticizing the government yesterday. Tunde Bakare. I listened to a couple of things he said. So, where are we going to from here? Are we going to the dailies? Or
well, let's take a look at what is trending. Again, let's give you some cherry news, right? Healthy dose of a little bit of everything, so you're sure that you're not left behind. And I want us to start with this cherry story from Tunde. You wonder which Tunde? Well, Tunde Okoya. He has finally broken that record. Nigerian chess champion, founder of Chess
Is this the one he did at New York?
Yeah.
They are not giving him the certificate?
No, so he did another one.
Oh, really?
The one that he did earlier did not get, wasn't recognized. There was no record. I think there were some other factors associated with it. I imagine maybe with the fundraising bit, because for you to go through the whole process, I don't think you should attach any fundraising bit. But the point is, that didn't count. The one he did earlier on didn't count. So he said, you know what, let's do it for real this time. And he went 4 days playing chess right there in New York yet again. So ladies and gentlemen, he has broken the world record of 61 hours, 3 minutes, and 34 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, Tunde Okoya is a new world champion. Let's just call it what it is. And it's great to see seeing him doing that yet again. I think if you really understand what it takes first to play chess, right? That's just chess alone, just one game of chess with someone who is good. Then imagine you having to do that for days. We're going to show you just the moment that Tunde Okoya broke the record and essentially told the world that, hey, we are here. But this is something else. This is the governor playing draft. So as it's happening in New York, it is happening in Nigeria. But this is not what we're talking about just yet. That is what we'll get to that eventually. I think someone is just excited about that. But we'll get to that. But basically, let's run through what Nigerians are saying about Tunde Okoya's record-breaking achievement. You see Adetunji Adewolu saying, history made, with an exclamation mark. Tunde Okoya has done it. Oh yes, record broken and still pushing Nigeria to the world. And I think it's just beautiful to see, Jeffrey.
Yeah, Femzi, I think this is coming from Femzi. Let's read some of your thoughts as well. I knew it. He's a legend, the man of the people. Hire you, Tunde Okoya. That's his handle. Tunde_OD. That is the handle. Kai, they have the next one, right?
Oh, yes. And I should just say that this is something that we should ensure that we carry on our head. Right. It's a very important moment in Nigeria's history. Take a look at Usman Garba, who's next, saying that this man is well composed and focused on his goal That's goal changing lives for better. Or let me take that again. He's focused on his goal, which is changing lives for the better. So yeah, just so I don't mess that up. But basically, that's what Nigerians have been saying about Tunde Okoya.
All right, so let's also get you through some of the thoughts that came through during the Easter, just before the Easter celebration. I think this is coming from the suspended governor of Rivers State. Sounds very strange in my ears when I say that. It sounds weird. Two things that I'm comfortable saying: suspended governor and sole administrator.
Right.
It's very weird in my mouth.
In 2025.
Yeah, in 2025, it's like I'm in 1990s, 1991. Right. It's very strange. Anyway, but that's what we are. Fubara preaches reconciliation, urges support for Tinubu. This coming from Nelson Okpara, says, Nigerian politics, well, he has no choice. He is in his office is very important. He has to protect it.
Okay. I think that this one from Olukofe Ibrahim will interest you, saying online activists are misleading. They may lead you to unclear paths and then withdraw. There is no rigidity in politics. Even every political situation requires you to adapt to reach your goals. So who are these so-called online activists? Misleading? Who did they mislead? Lots of questions to ask you, Olukofe Ibrahim. But I think some people might understand what you're saying. So there you go. From Olukofe Ibrahim, online activists misleading.
All right, Statesman says, that's Statesman, your handle is Adeyinka States 1. Politics is not child's play, it's played with sense, not emotion.
And he also said, that you see here, that Tinubu saved him. He will eternally be grateful for that. I know a lot of people beg to differ.
There is no such thing. Yeah. There is no such thing as Tinubu saved him. It's an there is no such thing. So let's put it out there straight up. There is no such thing. We're contending to, so we cannot be giving voice to it. I don't understand. I think that also statement also came from Nyesom Wike, I think, where he said that he wanted the governor to be outrightly removed through his guys in the House of Assembly. There's nothing constitutionally wrong with removing a governor by impeachment. If they succeed, they've succeeded. They are within their rights as lawmakers to impeach the governor if they have the reason to. He will go to court eventually, and whether the court agrees with them or not is another kettle of fish. To say constitutionally removing a governor or suspending him is a savior, that is dictatorship. It's not acceptable. The extent to which people can go to conceal is interesting. So you just, this is why people don't collect, let's say maybe you don't have to collect anything from anyone going anywhere.
This is even like a courier thing, right? It's not like you give someone to drop for you. You can see.
So what are they going to hold responsible? Is it the courier service or the sender of the package? What exactly?
Obviously the sender. Obviously the sender.
Oh dear.
And maybe the recipient. But you know what is...
it's really
two things shock me, Jeffrey. One, the clinical...
And it's a religious book.
Yeah. So the precision one, I don't know if to commend that the precision or otherwise. I mean, look at that. You think this is a book. Secondly, the fact that you are not even... There's no fear of God, as they say. You chose a religious book. Whatever happened to novels or other books? I mean, look at this, Jeffrey. The brain that used to do this, let's use it to, create stuff.
And we must also give kudos to this agency of government, the NDLEA.
Yeah.
NDLEA has really, really stepped up their game. I know they have their issues, but we must commend them for where they are doing well. And they've been busting. They've, in fact, you know what they call criminal minds.
Yeah.
They too have to think like criminals to be able to catch the criminals, to know that somebody's hiding something, and they've been doing quite well on this. So this, you just think is a holy book. So you wonder why you bought a book and people are...
It's actually just, it's not like, it's not the Quran.
Yeah, it's not the Quran.
It's a book of the story of pharaohs, something like that.
So this is why maybe you mistakenly get a copy of this book and you see people looking for you.
You wonder.
You wonder why.
Is it more than this simple book, right?
The value of that, I wish we could know the value of what is contained in that. But this is very disturbing. Oh, boy.
So there you go. Kudos yet again to the NDLA.
Must commend the NDLA.
The NDLA is on steroids.
Yeah,
pun intended. At this point.
They've been on steroids for a couple of years since the general took over.
Yeah.
Buba Marwa he's led that agency in the right direction, at least to the best of his ability. They have their issues, we must say, but I think they've done well. We must commend them. They've tried their best to. They're even asking for them to get into other spaces like making sure that they test the politicians before they get into office.
Yeah, I think that's one way to wait.
If they say they want the eyes to have it, eyes have it here.
Right,
because some of the things we see some of these politicians do, we need to test them for drugs.
No, I mean, you do this for athletes, you do this for even students sometimes. So I understand that if you do it for those ones at that level, we should ensure that it goes across board. People who are holding very important offices for Nigerians. So there you go.
Just like cultism is a crime in our law, drug abuse is also a crime. Yeah. Okay.
It is. So there you go. Those are some of the videos that have been making the rounds, and we could just go to the governor of Ekiti State, who was playing draft. So as Sunil Okoya was breaking the record in New York, Governor Ibanji.
That's Governor Ibanji.
Governor Ibanji was also playing draft right there. There you see with the
it is interesting.
The spectators.
It's been there, done that. It's just, relating with the people. Draft joints is always a place to have a lot of discussion. Some people say they use draft to pay salary, to pay house rent.
How?
And some people say that's where they lost their house rent as well. You need to ask the people that play
so
draft.
they stake on this?
Yeah, people stake now. People lose money. I know how to play this, but it's been a long, long time. In fact, there's a time draft used to be, when you play draft, they feel that you are responsible. At least in the city.
It has that status, right?
Yes, it has that perception. But it's just a game. How people have converted it to whatever it is they've converted it to. Okay, I think we have another governor again. I think. Congratulations to Governor Ibanji.
On what exactly? On breaking the record?
On winning that game. He was so excited.
I know.
Oh, I did it. I've not lost my touch, even if I'm a governor. Okay.
Oh my goodness. So speaking of governors, well, there was this carnival in Lagos. Lagos never sleeps, particularly when it comes to carnival. So there was the wedding. But you see Governor Sanwo-Olu at the Fanti Carnival appearing to scratch and mix with
DJ Spinall.
DJ Spinall. There you go.
Cool guy. Sanwo-Olu is, if you met him, he's quite a relatable person. He's making moves as well. That's good. Is there sound to this thing? I'd like to hear what is it. I know this song. I know that move. I don't, this thing trended on TikTok a lot.
Yeah. So
if you want to see Joe Biden, hey, remember the song? I think it's Voiceless there's a song by Voiceless featuring Serotonin. I think that's the title of that.
Interesting.
But it's another song altogether.
So there you go. Amidst all of the, the rumors, whether he's in good standing with the president, this one, that one. Well, there you see the governor of Lagos State.
YOLO.
So there you go. These are some of the videos that have gotten a lot of people talking. We hope that at least we've been able to give you a healthy dose on this Easter Monday.
Yeah.
Not too much.
So
too intense.
In case you're wondering where your governor was, if you're in Ekiti, he was playing draft.
For a moment.
For a moment. If you're in Lagos, you want to know where your governor was. He was DJing with Spinall.
Will they share
Come on, they are human beings, man. Allow these guys.
They share the money that's been
Give them a break. Let them have a bit of fun. It's interesting. We'll take a quick break, guys. Okay, maybe we'll take the dailies, right? Which one are we going in?
Let's just take a quick break, really. When we return, we're back with all of the big talking points over there. Don't worry, healthy dose of this and that right here on the Morning Brief. Stay with us.
Welcome back. So let's get to the very first conversation for the day on the program, and that has to do with what played out at the weekend. But we're using it to look at the general situation of the country when it comes to our criminal justice system, our judiciary, essentially. To see what the gains are and some of the things we need to amend to build public confidence in our judiciary. They say the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. But today we're focusing on what some people have considered the spate of unlawful detention. What is this really all about? A few days ago, there was an alarm raised by an activist who said Alabi Quadri, the young boy who, 17-year-old, is going to be 18 later part of the year, according to the records by his lawyer, saying that, look, he was in front of a convoy of presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, in 2023. That video went viral. Anyway, so one thing led to the other. His area, some certain persons allegedly in his area wanted to share whatever money came from that particular experience with the presidential candidate. Well, he ended up in police. He's a minor, he got detained and all of that. To cut the long story short, Alabi has now been released from the police detention. But I don't want to go into all the details. The lawyer of that, Mr. Alabi, is right here to break it down for us as to what played out. But you're seeing the videos of what played out in court, I think, on Friday or so. My guest today is Mr. Iman S. He's a human rights lawyer and an activist right here in our Lagos City. Iman, thank you for coming on the program.
Good morning. Good to be here.
And Alabi Quadri, how are you?
Fine, sir.
I'm happy you're out. I don't even know where to start, from whether to apologize on behalf of the Nigerian state for you.
That would be fair, actually.
Because this is about the second time we're experiencing incidents with minors being detained like this, and quite unlawful. But we must apologize that this is not Nigeria. Nigeria is better than this, so I must put that out and first of all say that. But your lawyer is here, he will be able to explain to us what really played out. Iman, you have the frame, the structure,
yes,
and the entire story. How did he end up in police cell, in prison, and eventually how did he end up in court?
So, in summary, the boy seated beside me, Alabi Quadri or Quadri Alabi, as you are aware, sometime in 2023, during the last general elections, Mr. Peter B was in one of his campaign tours in a convoy when he just spontaneously jumped in front of the vehicle and blocked the convoy and then raised his hand. That spontaneous moment was captured by a photographer. The image went viral on social media at the time. It became an internet sensation. Peter Obi and other persons took interest in him. They reached out to him. Some donations were made to him. That was the beginning of a life-changing story. A story characterized by fortune and quite sadly also accompanied by misfortune. Persons within the locality at Amokoko, where he resides, some so-called area boys, criminal elements, basically, you know, felt that because of the fame he had acquired in the community, they started calling him Obi, 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 and then they started making demands of him and his family. They asked specifically that they should, in quote, settle them. That he had not settled the streets where he came from, you know. And when I say where he came from, as a boy in the community that they knew. So they started harassing them to give them money, to part with some of the money. A chief in that community, or some title holder, specifically told the mother to buy a cow, slaughter it with rice and cook for the community to appease the so-called youths. She refused to do it. And the threats, the harassment persisted quite unbelievably since 2023. This case of Quadri being wrongly detained was the second time. These same people connive with the police. The Mogoko police station, divisional police station. They seem to be working in synergy. So they arrested him the first time, had him detained for a while. Nobody here at the time. This second time, he was coming back from work sometime in January in the night, quite close to his home. He was just about to get into his home. when they grabbed him, two of the area boys, known as Lege and Baba Waris, those are their aliases in the community. They started taunting him, oh, you've been carrying your shoulder for us. You think Obi gave you money. You did not come and see us. You think we told you we'll deal with you. They took him to the police. When they took him to the Amokoko police station, the initial claim or insinuation was that he participated in street fighting. That was what they said. Actually, that was what they told the mother. The mother even went to confront one of these area boys, one-on-one. The area boy admitted to her that, yes, I took your son. We told you that money you don't want to give us, you go and spend it with the police.
They said that.
This is, if she's here, she will confirm it. This is what they said to her. Surprisingly, they detained him for about one week at the police station. And on the 27th of January, they took him to court.
They detained him?
For about 1 week.
Was that was the court involved?
No. At the police cell, this boy was detained at Amokoko police station.
There's a DPO.
The DPO,
well, okay.
CSP Ismaila Olaniran, detained this boy for about a week.
Without a court order?
Without taking him to court. After about 1 week, they now took him to the magistrate court at Apapa, seeking a remand. When the mother kept persisting that, why are you holding my boy? Release my boy. Guess what? When they took him for remand, they suddenly put him along with 4 adults who are not known to him, whom he has never had relationship. He doesn't know anything about them. He has no connection with them. He's not their friends. He's not their associates in any way. And claimed that they were seeking to remand him for armed robbery. And they claimed this purported armed robbery was committed on the 22nd of January at 10 p.m. Kayode, no identification parade was done by law, assuming there was even a robbery incident.
Even though the police in their statement had said that people identified him. And I know that's where you're going to.
I'm going to there.
Yeah.
There was no identification parade for an offense that is committed by 10 p.m. in the dead of the night. And you claim it was 5 people. You know, how did you identify Quadri as one of them? Now, they now framed him for armed robbery.
You have that on good authority.
Of course, we've been vindicated. The magistrate, of course, and then they lied about his age. They falsified his age. At the courts, in the processes they filed, some of which we have, they claim he was 18. Do you know why they did that? Because when we were in court last week, even the magistrate complained bitterly that, look, this was what was presented to me. And there was no contrary representation that this boy was less than 18. So you cannot really blame the magistrate, because this was what the police put in what they filed.
They said he was 18?
Yes. If they had put 17, it would have registered in the mind of the court to maybe probe into the circumstance of it being brought to court, and possibly where he was to be remanded. So he was now sent to be remanded at the Kirikiri Medium Custodial
instead of a juvenile,
yes,
instead of a juvenile
home center. That was why they falsified his age. Now, they now adjourned the matter for DPP's advice, about 3 adjournments, and then, thankfully, a lady called Hassana Nuruddin, who is outside with us within the studio here. She's the co-founder of Ray of Hope Prison Outreach. Went on prison outreach for a different inmate, got the person out. The person now disclosed to her that there is this boy in Kirikiri during the campaign that stood in front of Peter Obi's convoy called Quadri. He's in prison with us.
Prison?
Yes, that was how she came to Twitter X to narrate what she was told. And then the family reached out to me, briefed me. Mr. Peter Obi personally contacted me. A couple of other people, got us to take up the matter. That was how we escalated it, took some steps. We were able to write an application to the court to bring back the date forward. Thankfully, the learned Attorney General, the learned Director of Public Prosecutions, working in the office of the Attorney General Lagos State, was able to immediately expedite action on his case. His file was reviewed. A couple of Nigerians assisted. I must mention specifically, Mr. Mondobani, SAN, played a very significant role in that process, And then finally, the DPP's advice came out. He was exonerated. There was no basis for him to have been arrested. And he was set free by the court.
You know, this story is gripping. It is very sad the way you have said it. And, you know, it points to a bigger challenge. Because some will say this is classic. This is classic. They've seen this happen time and again, rinse and repeat. But I want to ask a very important question. Has he been moved from that area? Is he in a safe place with his family? You can speak to us, maybe not specifics, but we want to be sure that he's been moved and he'll probably never go back there
Of course. That was the first thing we did. Immediately, he was released to us on Thursday. I felt, as a matter of expediency, to have him relocated with his family. So as I speak to you, they have not returned to their home. Because even on the day this boy was freed, youths, some people, some so-called area boys, who have been so empowered in Lagos, quite sadly, they operate like these non-state actors. They seem to be larger than life. They were still making threats to the mother.
In that same area.
I'm telling you. That is why I said that the DPO of Amokoko, CSP Ismail Aulani Ron, the person they call a ballet in that community, and this area was all to be interrogated. So we had to immediately put them in a safe house, pending when we can sort out. We are working to sort out the accommodation issue. You know, so as I speak to you, they've not gone back to their home since then. And like I say, you will not I keep telling people, you may not understand Quadri's case until you see Quadri. You've seen him, look at him. This is the boy they framed for armed robbery.
You know, after that incident, when you called for, you said what you're demanding for is 100 million.
Yes.
For I've forgotten what it is.
Compensation.
Compensation. You asked for the
public
apology. And also, is it
the removal of the DPO?
The DPO and all of that through the CP. In their response, after that, their headline.
Yes.
In their response, Lagos State Commissioner, Lagos State Police Command, say clarification on the case of 18-year-old Alabi Quadri.
Yes.
So is this the police not having the information you have, or you're the one that doesn't have the right information? Because the police is still saying, you say Alabi is 18, as not up to 18, it's 17 plus. They are saying he's 18-year-old. In fact, part of the statement said that, I want to go to that part.
Yes.
On January 22nd, 2022, on January 2025, rather, to be precise, a serious breach of public peace and extensive damage to public and private property occurred in Amukoko when groups of youths engaged in violent confrontation that escalated into street fights for all, causing widespread violence, panic, and chaos. During the chaos, a number of innocent passerby were robbed or reported to have been robbed and injured. This is the reason why they picked up Quadri Alabi. I
was going to show you. I don't know if I can pass it to you.
Yeah, you can pass it to us.
Please look at this. Let Nigerians look at that. Is the birth certificate of this boy.
29th of September 2007.
Yes.
That means it's going to be 18 in
So how can that is his birth certificate.
Okay.
Is the police saying they know his age better than his mother? It is just an act of mischief.
Yeah. This is 2007.
The statement of the police is embarrassing. It is despicable. The fact that they will even have the audacity that the CP will go on record, because no statement is issued by the police public relations officer without the approval of the commissioner of police. That is at the state, and at the federal level, for matters like this, the IG has to be aware. They have internal processes. So for the commissioner of police to go on record to authorize that abominable statement, he should tell the people of Lagos what is going on.
We're going to invite, what's his name? Benjamin Hundeyin?
In fact, in that statement, the police said that they are ready to engage with the public to ensure that this is shown to be transparent. So we're going to get the CP.
Ask them.
We're going to get the CP.
How can they still be talking about a matter that the DPP has exonerated him?
Because from the record you've shown to us, we want to also see the record the police has as to his age, because it's not 18 yet, it's 17. It's going to be 18 in September from the record we have seen.
No, forget about even the birth certificate for a second. Look at this image of Quadri standing before Peter Obi's convoy as at 2023. Does that person look like someone who could have been more than 15 years. Look at his face. So for the police to still issue these slanderous statements, despite the exoneration by the DPP, despite an order of discharge by a court of competent jurisdiction, it should tell Nigerians the level of decadence in the police. And we are going to take them on it. They will not get away.
Which is very important, because this is not just for Quadri. This is actually for the good of the police. So the police is able to look at itself and say, do we represent that agency that is meant to protect and serve? If we don't, if we do, great. If we don't, let's work on it. So this works for everybody. And I'm glad, as I said earlier on, the police said they remain open to engaging with the general public, opinion groups, and community stakeholders to transparently clarify every concern and ensure justice is served fairly and transparently. So we're going to be getting the police on this one as well. But I just want to hear from Quadri.
Please, can I quickly draw your attention to something before I forget?
Right, good.
Look at that statement. Yeah. Did they mention who arrested Quadri?
Right, in the statement.
You notice they did not.
So you expect them to have mentioned?
They should have said it was the police who arrested him.
You raised that in your response.
Yes, because the police never arrested Quadri.
Yeah, you raised that in your response.
Why are they silent on it?
Very important point. So when
was the identification done?
To speak to these issues. But I want to hear from Quadri. I just want to know, Quadri, how do you feel now? How do you feel? After everything we don't happen, how do you feel?
I'm feeling better.
You do feel better now?
Yes.
Now when they don't move you, go safe place.
Yes.
You, your mama, you do all right now?
Yes.
What do you want to tell Nigerians, Nigerian people, we support you? You know, say plenty of people come online, even offline, they support you. What do you want to tell them?
I want to tell them that all of them, thank all of them. God will be blessing all of them. They will be going up. They will not come down again. The people that is blessing me, God will not forget them too. And that is what I want to.
Amen. I want to ask you. You say you want to go to school. You want to go to school.
Yes.
So, are you ready to go to school? And what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your life?
I'm ready. Yes, sir. I'm ready.
What will life become?
I want to like become. I want to like become.
What do you want to learn?
I want to learn a good thing that should become better. On next time, should come better to me. But the school that I want to go to school. I'm serious. I don't want to stay with my mother again. I want to go to school. Whether I should live in the school, I should be living the school. It's better. I don't want to stay
in that area again.
Because some people they have put eyes on my body.
They
have put eyes on my body that when this thing happened, some was telling my mom that this money that I give this boy, you share into two, unless you don't see your daughter again with that. So they will kidnap me, carry me, go to somewhere that my mother will not see the money, will not see it and use. So my mom now told them that what she wanted to do for them. She said that they will share the money into two. My mom said that it cannot possible. Say, okay, stand of the motto now. If they shoot direct, because this is what they will be talking. They say, no, I don't want to hear that one. See, they will share the money into two. So my mom said it cannot possible. Since that time, that puts me for mind that this boy, we must send him to where do you no expect. So that day I just come back for work.
Which work you did learn that time?
I'm motor boy.
Oh.
I used to carry fish, go to Port Harcourt. So on that day, we have finished work. My guy have given me money. See, this is my money that I work. So when I start to come in house in the afternoon, I don't know that I don't fight for that place. So when I'm coming down, I don't know that police is already surrounding the areas and those area boys. So as I was going now, I just want to enter our gate, that I should enter house. I just see those police, they just come outside, hold me. Hey, see the boy, yes, see the boy, yes, see the boy. Handle me to the police that they should carry me go to station. They hold me now, they carry me go to their station, they lock me inside, say. And
then when they lock you for 1 week.
Yes.
His account is again gripping, and I imagine the trauma he's gone through after all this process. But I'm very curious. He says he wants to go to school.
Well, ask him about the people they claim are his cases.
So the people where they come put you together, you know those people?
I don't know them. Those people that put me together, it's only me that small. Among inside is 4 people. Those 4 people is Edalima. They senior me where. So they just put them inside where they put me. They don't ask me see where they catch. I say now radio. See they say I did among people with the fight. They tell me see
you sabi fight?
No, street they say I destroy the area, collect phone, destroy damage something. I say me, I don't come back for using my set and my money. They don't pack.
They're still with his handset, with his mobile phone.
The area boys.
They took his mobile phone as I talked to him.
The police or the area boys?
The area boys who grabbed it.
Is it evidence or what? Is it as evidence?
We've made efforts to get it, but who will we go to? The police should help us. They are part of the conspiracy.
So at this point now, are you going back to court to make these demands?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Because you have made some demands and you've given them, what timeline did you give them?
14 days from the date it was released.
But the way the police...
In the light of their statement, we will not be waiting for that.
Because police now is apparently disputing your position.
No, they are not disputing. They are corroborating our position. Okay. You know, we have nothing to hide. When this matter came to public light, I said the initial excuse for arresting him, they claimed there was street fighting, which he had mentioned. At what point did armed robbery come in? And how can someone that has been exonerated by a court on the advice of the DPP, you are still issuing a shameful statement, doubling down on your impunity and lawlessness?
Which you consider shameful.
It's shameful.
Quadri, this thing pain you. Yes. This thing where I pain you.
For the place that they brought me going, they use me that like person that don't have any family. From morning to night, from morning to 6 o'clock, I used to build sheets. Because I don't have money to plan where to give my child that should keep me for a year, where I will not be packing shit again.
So now the work where they do every day? Right?
Yes, every day by day.
How you found it?
Oh boy. Let me speak to my... So we would like to have the Commissioner of Police of Lagos State. I'm just trying to contain my emotion because I'm imagining this is my kid brother. Anyway, I wish the Commissioner of Police to come and respond to some of these statements made by Quadri.
I mean, the facts of the issues, because this points to a deeper rot. This can happen to anybody, by the way. Just in case you're thinking, no, I don't stay in Amokuku, or I don't stay. It can actually happen to anybody. And that's the challenge with when we look away from issues like this. It becomes a big monster, and you don't know when it will be your turn. I know that there's been a fundraising for Quadri.
Yes.
What is the target? How much have Nigerians contributed? And what is the plan for him? Because we really need to have a plan for Quadri and others like him, so we're able to turn. He says he wants to go to school. You see the way he says, I won't go to school. So what is the plan? How much has been raised and what's the plan?
Well, in the spirit of, initially we were reluctant, but in the spirit of accountability, this is money raised that the fundraising I started publicly. I can confirm to you that this morning we raised over 10 million. Over 10 million. In a matter of barely 4 days. Over 10 million for Quadri. It re-energizes our hope in the Nigerian spirit. It shows that, in fact, within 2 hours, we had raised over 3 million within the first 2 hours. So that today we've raised about 10-point-something million for Quadri.
And what is the plan? So how do we ensure that we're able to...
The priority is to, because those criminals, if they hear what I've mentioned now,
they're thinking of how for it.
In 2023, the donation that were given to him wasn't even close to this. And you can see what they had to do to him. So we've completely taken them out of that community. We've put them where it is safe.
So part of that money goes to
Yes,
that.
The immediate plan is to reallocate a relocation. We are working on getting a fresh accommodation in a different place entirely for them. And then a part of it will also go, the mother is a petty trader. She needs some financial support to stabilize. Yeah. So part of that money will go to that. And then the rest, we may have to take a decision whether to put it in a deposit for him, because the money was raised for him.
Yeah.
The point is to ensure that it's rehabilitated and it doesn't go back to to a status, a place that will make him vulnerable to those kind of attacks. That is the least that we owe Quadri. And it saddens me, it saddens me. But let us not treat it as an isolated case.
Oh, absolutely.
Like I said in my initial statement, there are many Quadris. You are aware I went to prison myself in 2022 when I had a issue with my then governor and chief judge in Akwa Ibom. I can tell you, many people in Nigerian custodial centers called prison are innocent Nigerians. Nobody to speak for them, nobody to advocate for them, including minors. Including minors. In your prison, I saw people that were less than 18. Why? Because when they are, under the Nigerian Correctional Services Act, they cannot take minors. But when the record brought to you, this shows the age of the person to be above 18, what will you do? So this is the culture of lawlessness that the police have been carrying on. From police cells to prisons,
even the correctional service itself.
Yes.
So we need to
to
further probe the record of the police. We must say some of the policemen are doing some fantastic work. But I think at this point it's also clear that there are criminal elements within the police force.
Of course.
That we need to fish out, because I remember even during the court hearing that you were part of, our colleague was harassed, literally.
Yes.
She told Shola Shele, but she didn't tell us initially, but later we found out that she was harassed. I've had my colleague Millicent also harassed in a situation that shouldn't be a situation, a situation where something happened, and then the next thing, the charges against you, so you're wondering where are these charges coming from. Our colleague, what's his name? Charles Opurum, arrested by the police, assaulted by the police, later released, and the police PRO shamelessly released a statement almost denying until the journalist came gun blazing on her, and then maybe she retracted and all that. So we see this incident, but we must thank you, Iman S, and every other lawyer, and the activist. I wish she was here.
That's Anatu.
What's her name?
Anatu.
Anatu. I know you're not sitting there with us, but thank you for what you do and what you did for Quadri. We must thank you so much. God bless you.
Asana.
Okay.
Apologies.
Thank you so much.
Quadri, you go like become president or something.
Quadri.
Because you fit.
You can.
You can actually.
And please, before we go, the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State.
Yes, we're
should have the decency. No. How can he allow this DPO to still be there? How many more children will this DPO have to frame before they have the decency to remove him? You can't allow this to go.
We're extending an open invitation to the Commissioner of Police to come and answer all of this. But I must apologize to you. I don't want to say thank you for coming. You're already here, so I must thank you for coming. Quadri, we wish you well. We wish you safety. And we are sorry on behalf of Nigeria for what was done to you unlawfully by those criminal elements in connivance with the bad elements of the police. We apologize, okay? Thank you so much. Iman S is a human rights lawyer and an activist. Quadri is a young man who we're happy is out of the custody of the Nigerian prison.
And Hassana.
And Hassana.
Hassana. Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. All right, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it's Easter Monday. I've never been this emotional in a program this deep, but we'll serenade you with some great music. Join us in just a moment. We'll be right back.
By the way, I must say that I don't know which is more iconic about you.
Okay.
Your look or your bass guitar, the way. Come on, look at that.
Thanks so much. I also love your look as well.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
You're just trying to be kind, and I appreciate
no.
it.
You've always been looking on point ever since I watched your show. Yes.
So this is what we'll do.
Okay.
We're going to come back to you because we need to have a major conversation with you. But
All right.
we wanted you to just show people, that DBass feel. Because I know you've done a lot of things.
Yeah.
You're playing with bottles and stuff like that.
True.
So we'll have a conversation with you. You're part of our Easter Monday special. So stay with us. We'll have a full conversation with DBass. We just wanted you to have a feel of the person and the work that he does. So stay with us. Something to look forward to on the show. We'll be right back. So don't worry, he's still with us. He'll teach me how to play the guitar as well.
Sure. You teach me how to present. Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Still our Easter Monday special, and we have joining us, as you can see, Pastor Yemi David, pastor of Global Impact Church, PFN chairman, Lagos State. But guess what? He's in Abuja this morning. Pastor David, it's good to have you on the morning brief, and happy Easter to you.
Yeah, same to you. Happy Easter to everybody out there. It's great to be with you this morning.
It is great to have you. And just to get it out of the way, you have not relocated to Abuja. You are still in Lagos with us.
Yeah, I had an event in Abuja yesterday evening, so I was so glad I could join in from your studios this morning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's great to see you.
I'm in Lagos. I'm still in Lagos.
Please, thank you. For the flock who are thinking, okay, let me start relocating to Abuja to follow Pastor David. He hasn't relocated, he's still in Lagos. But let's get right into it. It's Easter. Right, and for a lot of people, they may be thinking, Easter in what has been described as a difficult time, how does this work? So Easter stands, or the significance of Easter is the resurrection of Jesus Christ, bringing salvation to the world. So people see that Easter and they wonder, is it that salvation missed me, or it missed this part of the world, or what exactly is playing out? Some other people say, that's the point. Easter is always marked in the midst of difficulty, so it's like a bright ray of hope in the midst of difficulty. So for those who think, did the salvation miss me? Did this resurrection miss me out? Why is this happening to me? How do you break it down to them?
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, it's great to experience Easter every year. Friday was a crucifixion. It's a place of pain, a place of death, and then the burial. And then Sunday morning is resurrection. I think it offers a lot of hope every time we celebrate Easter, that whatever pain, whatever sorrow, whatever difficulty, there's always an opportunity for resurrection. I think that's the perspective we should have, that this offers hope that anything dead or dying can resurrect, can come back to life. And in our time here, where we are facing myriad of difficulties, economic challenges, leadership challenges, I think Easter offers that model, an encouragement to all, maybe I should say Nigerians, that our dying nation, so to say, can resurrect. These dry bones can live again, and that's the way I see it. We must be encouraged and be determined to see this nation resurrect, in that sense, yeah.
Pastor Yemi, I'm happy you landed where you did. So let's piggyback from your very last thoughts, or speaking to Nigerians. And there is a set of people I would especially like you to speak to before we expand the conversation even further, and that has to do with the people in Benue and Plateau. As we speak now, there was an attack, I think, on Saturday or so. As we speak right now, the government has confirmed that that initial attack that the police had reported about 17 people killed, and the governor has reported those numbers, is now official that about 17 people were killed, the first report.
Yeah.
As we speak, 72 have so far been confirmed killed in Ukum and Logo, I think local government areas of Benue State. For people who feel that Nigeria has failed them, whatever it is, by their own definition, is within their right to define whatever it is they want to define. But that is the reality they live in trauma, live in fear. What message of Easter would you have for such people, those in Benue and Plateau, especially who has been in the eyes of the storm?
I mean, thank you so much. It's so painful that this happens. It seems to happen every Easter. I don't know whether if you observe the trend, and sometimes some people ask and think it's an agenda because it's like a slap, maybe on the Christian communities in those places. We pray that God will strengthen the families, the communities, and we also really want to beckon strongly on the government. I expected extra effort during Easter for such communities because of the trend over the years. It looks like an advantage is they take advantage of the Easter season, the public holiday, the celebration of the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus to just, do some damage. We expected more from the government. We expected more, some responsible security provision from the government. It's so painful, and it's something that I think is a national crisis. We have this insecurity thing seems to be escalating this season. Some people wonder why, but I think government needs to rise up to the occasion so that we don't give birth to what we cannot handle. Something happened in Oromi, I hope I got that right, Oromi some time ago, and after some few days, you realize that some people have been arrested, that, okay, these are the guys that, these are the suspects, so to say. But these things keep happening in Benue State and Plateau State, and then week after week, months after month, you don't even hear that anybody is arrested or somebody, suspects taken into custody. It bothers us. It's a source of concern. And just like Pastor Bakari said yesterday in his State of the Nation speech, I love the speech, and I love the fact that he was able to come out so strong. And I want to add a voice to that the government needs to show more responsibility in terms of securing life and property of the people. We don't want to reduce it to a religious matter or ethnic stuff, but that coloration seems to be very visible. So we want government to do more so that people don't assume that there's an agenda against the Christian population in Plateau State or in Benue State, or there's an agenda generally. Yeah.
Well, Pastor David, these challenges seem to be there and recurring. It looks like the more you talk about it, the more resilient the quote bad elements get, and that speaks to the justice system in terms of enforcement, protection first, then ensuring that if there's any breach, there's a proper investigation, prosecution, and the right repercussions are meted out. And it said that the truth exalts a nation, right? When you look around the systems in Nigeria, how much of truth are we missing in this country?
Yeah, thank you. It's a lot. The systems, our institutions. Sometimes you wonder how we recruit, the recruitment process for leaders in our country. You wonder, why is this person heading this institution? Why is this particular person in charge of that? I looked at it, and when we talk, I think we got to go beyond talking. You know why? Because some people that spoke yesterday, some people that spoke years ago, they're in government today. And they are not performing well. Let me just put it mildly. So when I see people even talk now, people say things, I ask myself, if these same persons are in government, will they really do better? So when you think deep, I think we have a cultural problem, a very deep cultural problem, where our ideology, our thinking, our mindset, how do we see leadership? How do we see power? You're here now. If you become a senator of the Federal Republic, what kind of demands will your family members make of you? What kind of expectations will your friends, have of you? The way our thinking about leadership, our ideology about, being heading an institution, I think it's a problem. So I think it's a deeply cultural issue, and that's where I think the body of Christ comes in. pastors like me, we have a fantastic opportunity to help shape culture, because culture is the way of life of people, the way they think. If we don't shift the way we think about leadership, if we don't shift our mindset about leading people, nothing's going to change. Because people think leadership is bossing people, an opportunity for you to steal, an opportunity for you. And people even ask them for things that are beyond their wages. So how do they measure up? How do they meet up with those things? People think when you are in power, you are better than others. People assume that when you are a leader, you are more intelligent than the people you are leading. No, that's not leadership. So, narrowing it down to Easter, I want to encourage churches, pastors. We have an opportunity week in, week out to help shape culture. I think our conversations from the pulpit need to shift the kind of things we say. If we do it the better way in terms of helping to shape the mind of the people, helping to shape the way we see leadership, the way we see governance, then that process can begin. It's a long haul, but I think the journey must start. And for those in leadership, the question I want to ask them is, what legacy are you going to leave? You know, it's 4 years, maybe by providence you have 8 years, but after these 4 years or the 8 years, what kind of legacy? What is your joy in just leaving people worse than you met them? What is your joy in leaving people worse than you met them? I think leadership should be a blessing, not a curse. Leadership should be lifting people. So that when you're out of that seat, because you're going to be out of that seat in a couple of years, you can look back and have some kind of rest, some kind of peace, some kind of joy, if that is what you really desire.
Pastor Yemi, there's something else we've identified which I would like you to speak to, and that is the value for human life. It's a Nigerian problem. It's an African problem. If you go outside, if you go to the global north, even though they have their challenges, but what we see is a better value for human life. Nigerian Constitution, Section 33 says everybody has a right to life. Section 14 says the government's responsibility is to protect those lives and protect the lives and provide for the welfare of the citizens, according to Section 14. So you can see even our framework as a constitution values life. But in practice, it looks like there's no really value for life. People just die, people are killed, the reaction of government, the response, it becomes colored by all kinds of, you know, dimensions of fault lines and all of that. How do we get back to the point where we can now value human life? Like Jesus died for lives and saved those lives. That's what Christians believe. But as a country, I doubt if we are really showing that we have value for human life. From where you sit as a pastor, as a leader in the religious sector, how can you help reposition that mindset?
Yeah, I think, it's the same thing about our conversations. You can't change someone with the wrong, until you give them fresh information. I was shocked when I checked, I was scrolling to one of the social media platforms, and I saw someone saying it was only 17 people that was killed, not 52. And I was wondering, is 17 now a good number to die? Even one person. It's a deeply cultural issue, and we need to really confront the issues. In a country where you have ritualists, people using their girlfriends or maybe boyfriends for money rituals, so we have a cultural issue, the way we see life. If somebody can use somebody else's or think of using somebody else's head or life to make money, it means we place money, material things, above the human life. Now, while you cannot really talk about the other faiths in that sense, for the Christian faith, and it's the same thing. Our teachings, our training systems need to focus on these matters, value for human life. If you're a Christian, then the way you deal with another human being, because it's God's creation, right? Not just human beings, even animals, even his creation generally, the forest, the environment, the way you respond to those things is a true reflection of your Christian faith. The truth is, some messages in the body of Christ seems to have gone overboard. It's not that it's bad, but extremes are always the problem, okay? It's good for people to prosper. People want to succeed in their businesses and their careers. And I think we've done a pretty good job at that. But some have gone overboard with that. But I think we need to shift the conversation to what you just mentioned in terms of exemplifying the life of Christ. How do you treat your neighbor? In fact, love your neighbor as yourself. So if something is good for you, then it's good for your neighbor. I think those are the things we need to say now. I say it again and again. It's better to oversay it. It's better to overpreach it until people begin to behave it. You understand? If a good car is good for you, then your neighbor too deserves a very good car. So you now ask yourself, so if you're in leadership, what kind of transport system do you provide for the people? If good healthcare is good for you as a leader, as a human being, then the same thing is good for your neighbor. So what kind of healthcare system are you providing if you become the leader? I think those are the things we want to do. For us in PFN Lagos, one of the areas we have been focusing on is the leadership, because leaders have the platform. They talk to people, they influence lives. And you know, when people listen to politicians, there's this form of doubt, but when they listen to their pastors,
right, there's
this, readiness to receive because of the belief in the person of the pastor. And I think we should take advantage of that for good. So what we're doing is training pastors. I mean, you have to shift the pastor's mindset first before the pastor can shift the mindset of the congregation.
There you go.
And that's a lot of work to do, but we're doing that. So if the pastors can think differently, then they can speak differently.
Absolutely.
And if this kind of conversation goes on pulpit regularly, then we can shift the way we behave. We must value life.
Well, Pastor
we must
David,
treat others as we want to be treated.
I think another factor that maybe impedes the influence, that positive message sometimes, is the controversies, debates that we have here and there. And I'd like to get your thoughts on how to decide which is important and which is a distraction. So here, for example, pastor preaching, saying that, well, Jesus didn't visit the poor, doesn't really like poverty. Another says, well, you don't pray in the name of Jesus, it's not said in the Bible. Another says, well, you see, this Easter you're even celebrating, do you know the roots of it? Why are we even celebrating Easter? Another says, well, did Jesus stay in the grave for 3 days? How is it when he died on Friday and he rose on Sunday? That's not 3 days in that sense exactly. All of these things, they're like thousands, hundreds of millions of it. So how do you decide which one is important, which one is a distraction, so we can also focus on the job at hand?
I mean, sometimes it's laughable, really. Beyond the church, I mean, distractions are all over the place. Even when you see what we argue on social media, entertainment, it's not bad. Entertainment is not bad, but you wonder whether we've gotten our priorities right. And I'm glad to be given this opportunity to share with us. And I think platforms like this help to shape priorities. Some things that you hear need to be ignored, really ignored. Jesus, he said, the scripture says the gospel is preached to the poor. If the gospel is preached to the poor, whether spiritually poor or materially poor, then Jesus loves the poor. Jesus is out for the poor. He's blessed at the poor, So I think I think it's just a media thing, just blowing up, escalating things that need not to be escalated. And I think people need to see it for what it is, that it's a distraction. And for those that have the platform to keep saying the truth, I learned something many years ago, that when you have a stream with muddied water, you don't try to, clean it up in that sense. Just allow the fresh waters to flow in. And as the fresh water flows in, you realize that it cleanses it. So my admonition is, for those who have the right priorities and have the platforms, they need to be more vocal. There are people that are too quiet for my liking. And if you are too quiet like that, you allow irrelevancies to take over the space. For those that have the platform, who understand the priority, our nation shouldn't be like this. We are heavily resourced, human, material, you know, we shouldn't be where we are. And those things are the priorities. So those who understand that should really be more vocal. We can't be quiet at this time. Believe me, Pastor Tony Bakare's State of the Nation address yesterday really got to me. Very punchy, very beautiful. I wish people can watch it again and again. We need such conversations to be out. Maybe that can weaken the distractions that we have out there. Whether it's 3 days and he died or 5 days, he died, buried, and rose again for my justification. I think that matters most.
There you go. And I love the way you just put perspective to these issues, because again, there's a tendency for there to be distractions. And I think it would be lovely to see ministers stand up and speak to these national issues, because we operate in the national context, right? But we have to thank you so much. You spoke to these issues. You didn't shy away from them. Pastor Yemi Davids, Pastor of Global Impact Church, and he is chairman of PFN Lagos State. It's good to see you in Abuja. It's gooder to see you in Lagos, if there's anything like that.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Have a beautiful Easter Monday. God bless you all. Bye.
Thank you. Well, there you have it. Some of the important points laid out, and I really hope we can pick from them. But we'll go on a quick break now. When we return, we have the softer side of things for you, and you'll enjoy the next segments on our Easter Monday special. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Her name is Iman S. She's a singer-songwriter and entertainer, creative entrepreneur. She joins us right here in our Lagos studio. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's begin with a very curious question. Who used your head?
Well,
based on your song.
I mean, few things happened, you know, in life in general, where you feel like people try to outsmart you, and then you learn from it, you grow from it, and that's where that song came from.
So you don't want to give us the full
What do you say?
That you become street smart.
You become very street smart, very fast. If you grow up in Nigeria, you have to, you know, be smart and be fast.
So what did it cost you?
Ha! What did it cost me? Some money, some time, some setbacks, a few things.
Okay. So let's talk about your music in general. People have different reasons why they get into a space.
Okay.
And make it their forte, make it their life's mission, and all of that. So for you, as a singer-songwriter, what is the motivation here?
I feel like most of my music passes a message. I like to say something in my music, even if it's fun or vibes. I like to really speak for people, you know. I think music is a vehicle for, I don't want to use the word activism as it were, but you know, people are going through things. I feel like your music should mirror stuff that either you are going through or what other people are going through. So that's like my biggest motivation for being a musician.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on the hook, the chorus. Borrow, make me shine. That's that part, right?
Yeah, there's a part.
I'm sure that's your
part
favorite part too.
You know, I kind of like it. I like the entire song, actually. It was one of the biggest records in 2020, I think 1 or 2. It was #4 on TikTok, Nigeria.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so...
We're going to talk about your new project, Mobad.
Oh, JJ, actually.
It's JJ, right?
Yeah.
But Mobad is the...
Yeah, that came in January, and JJ came a few weeks now.
Oh, so you have another EP out?
No, another song out.
Another song, but Mobad...
EP is coming.
So all of them will be in the new EP coming?
Yes.
Ah,
yes.
okay. Lovely. I want you to speak to this. Which would you describe yourself as? New cat, old cat, semi-new cat, in the cat sense of it? Where do you place yourself in the industry timeline in that sense?
Okay, I'm not a new cat. I'm not a new cat. Because, I mean, I've gone through a few things in the industry, and I've been nominated for Heady Awards, so I wouldn't say that I'm just like fresh out the boat. But I feel like I'm not a established cat yet, because there are a few milestones I'm yet to hit. You know, I want to see myself #1 on the top 100 Nigeria charts. There's some charts I need to see myself on to be an established cat.
So okay, so you're not even talking new or old cat. Yours is more established cat.
Yes,
That's what you're looking
established
at.
cat. Yeah, because it's not about new or old. You can be in a space for 30 years and make no impact. Ooh. And you can be in a space for 1 year and be an established cat.
It's just that in Nigeria, longevity comes to the conferment of legend.
Yes, exactly.
So that's the way it works here. So if somebody has been in the space for 25, 30 years, oh, this one is a legend. Whether I did a song or 10 songs, it's really... So you were speaking to some of the questions he asked you, but you didn't land on your thoughts. So let me allow you land on your thoughts. So what are the challenges you're facing to be in that established space? And define to us, maybe using references as to what you mean in your books, an established artist. Yes.
Okay, so what are the challenges? Let's take it one by one. What are the challenges for, that, gets you to be established? So for me, I would say first things first, funding, right? Being backed. It's a bit more difficult for female artists. I say this all the time. It's a bit more difficult for female artists to kind of clinch funding, but I'm seeing things shift. I'm seeing a shift. I kept saying that we've had like a almost 90-10 percentage, that's ratio male to female artists. And this, if you're having a show, 10 of the artists might be men and then 2 are females. We have very few household female superstars, right? So there's a gap somewhere. When you speak to investors, which I sometimes do, they're always asking, oh, can you find me a 16-year-old guy? Or can you find me, they're asking, they're asking for specifics, and they probably want male. You know what I mean? So people are now coming around to seeing, with the success of, Fave, Thames, because they were the cats that broke through without, I would say, okay, Fave had Empower, but Thames, it was more of an independent breakthrough from my books, and then it's okay, you know what, we can back females and they can really soar with the right strategy, so there's things missing funding, strategy, backing. Those things affect your real rise. Yes.
That's beautiful. I want to get a bit personal because I noticed that last year you seemed a bit quiet, social media-wise, and I'll tell you this.
Oh, my goodness.
Should I go on? I'm sure you know where I'm going.
No, you can.
So, 2024, last year, you had in total, let's talk your IG now, about 19 posts.
Wow.
In 2024.
You really went to check?
Well, we have our ways. We have people who do that. So this year so far, you've done almost 17 posts on the same IG. Again, it may be a decision. Was it deliberate or something? Why did it? Why 2024? We expected to see every week. So was that deliberate? Was that a rediscovery process for you? But what exactly happened last year?
Okay, so I've had many I'm done with this industry moments. And 2024 was a step back moment. I had to take a slight break, which I did. I traveled, and I had, I don't really have a great relationship with social media. For a creative, it's terrible, but I'll be the first to admit, everyone on my team knows. They have long talks with me about it. The distance, I always say the distance between my content and social media is 6,000 miles.
Oh dear.
But
you're born again now. You have
yes,
repented now.
I'm born again. But yeah, I took a break because some significant setbacks happened as well. I had tried to negotiate a deal for another artist because I wanted to kind of maybe quit my brand and then focus on, get do what other people were doing, power other people.
Yeah.
And then there were a lot of betrayals and disappointments with that situation. So I decided to, maybe take a step back and rethink everything. And it was perfect because going away for that long really gave me fresh inspiration, fresh energy. I wrote fresh songs, you know what I mean? And then I feel like I have a lot. I have 3 EPs coming out this year. Yeah.
Just a 365-day calendar year. You have 3 EPs.
I know. I don't know how to fit it in, but I will. It's a promise I've made to myself. It's not even about anyone. It's just what, I'm going to make up for the
lost time in
the silence last year, yeah.
So let's talk about that challenge. I'm going back to that challenge of when I asked you to identify what it is that is affecting female artists. I talked about being established and your definition. From what you are doing now and what you intend to do, what are you planning to use to hack that challenge so that you become as successful as you should? Because some of us were on radio before we came to TV, so we understand this space, this creative space a lot. And if you talk to investors, executives, you know, some of them, oh, the female logistics is quite tasking. They talked about acceptance. They talk about but these young ladies are very talented. We can't throw them away. And the more we see them, the more younger ones will be inspired to go in that direction. So now that you're in that space, whether you're established or not, what are you doing? What do you intend to do to at least help expand that horizon for a lot of people?
You know what? I like what you said, because it's such a broken clock or a broken record how people complain about the logistics of female artists, you know, because they complain about our hair is expensive, makeup, wardrobe. You know, if to get a female artist on a stage or to get her on any platform might cost you, before you could even pull it off with 100,000, because makeup artists were still taking like 10, 15K. Now, with the rising cost of fuel and, you know, so many things, Uber cost, the Uber from, you know, mainland island now is about 20 to 30K on a terrible day. So imagine how the additions are going to add up for us, you know. I think what I plan to do, regardless of all these challenges, is push through and keep speaking to investors, keep convincing them that we are good business. You know, when I look at the creative space, especially on the acting side, the movie-making industry, women have dominated so much more, you know, because I'm actually considering, not even considering, I'm going to start creating content as well. So short films, documentaries, all that stuff. But I see how women have actually even, I would say, are dominating that space. You know, it's harder on the music side because there's a lot more intricacies going on with music. But I plan to keep speaking to investors. I plan to keep saying we are good business, bet on us. You know what I mean? We can't go further without your bets. We can't go further without your resources. We can't go further without your funding. You know, my plan is to keep asking and soliciting bets on us. Another thing is creating independence within yourself. So right now, I know how to do my makeup. I know how to style my hair. I know how to put a few things together as well to eliminate certain costs. I know how to make PowerPoint proposals. I know how to pitch to investors. I know how to, you know what I mean, do a few things.
DIYs,
so if you come and sign me or work with me or invest in me, I'll be doing at least 60% of the heavy lifting. Because you see that heavy lifting, no one wants to do it. There was a time we had managers that would take you from under the bridge and make you a superstar. Now managers are looking for ready-made artists. They're going to your page and saying, you know, until we see 2,000 comments, we're not coming. You know, so who's going to get you from 0 to 2,000? It's not a lot. So you have to do, the artist now has to do a lot of heavy lifting.
There you go. And I love how you break it down so well. You should start a master class on this if you're not thinking of that already. But we can't have you on the show. We can't have Iman S not here. If it's Jeje or...
Even if it's in line for 30 seconds.
We just want to hear it because you now strike us as music exec, label boss in the making kind.
Oh,
it's a lot
goodness.
of things. But we still need to hear the artist, right? So which do you want to give us on this Easter Monday?
Okay, let me see. Let me do... should I do JJ? Let me do Never in My Life.
30 seconds.
Yeah. Tell me why your life be like this. Lay mama in the mud like this. Oh, borrow money, gonna form like this. Pay my need on this big Spanish. Oh, when it run, you don't go turn up for me, my guy. You kinda go. You know, go tap if you fall out with me. Why lie? Borrow, make me shine. Wuru to the answer. Where they one day form this guy. Makachuku oti bario. Never in my life. Them go use my head again. Them go use my head again. Never in my life. Them go use my head again. Them go use my head, oh. Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, Iman S. Well, IQ behind you, never in our life.
Never again.
Yes,
Iman
never
S, singer,
again.
songwriter, entertainer, creative entrepreneur. Thank you for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All right, fantastic. From one musician to the next. Join us again in just a moment. We'll be right back.
Right here. We're keeping you live. We recorded everything together because it is Easter Monday. We promised that we're going to bring you Ekundayo, DBass, African gospel jazz artist. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you for gracing our show with your presence. It's
Thank
Easter Monday.
Yes, sir.
And you come well decked. Like you resurrected with Christ and you're showing forth. Speak to us about this look, this whole persona that you have going. And how long did it take to curate this? And I remember you used to play the guitar with bottles and stuff like that. Walk us through your process.
Okay, actually. So I started music quite early.
Yeah.
And I loved music. I started with the piano, actually. Then from the piano, I moved into the playing of the bass guitar because I could easily express myself on the guitar. Yeah,
so I thought the guitar was harder.
Well, all the instruments actually are, depending on how you see it. Then the passion actually.
Right.
Yeah, so I found that I could express myself easily on the guitar. You know, furthermore, I went to OU to study music, so I could add more knowledge to what I'm doing. So, and of course, my guitar, this was actually a special beauty guitar for me. So that's why I have all of these colors on it.
The 6-string bass.
Yeah.
Why the choice of 6 strings?
Okay, because I could, for the 6 strings, I could solo, I could play the chord, and I can as well play the backup bass on it.
And you do gospel?
Yes, I do gospel. I do gospel and I do jazz.
Because I know that when it comes to that aspect of music, I don't want to call it genre now.
Okay. Exactly genre.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be careful. I understand. I know.
Okay.
so that I don't box anybody.
Everybody, okay.
Because some people are not comfortable with that.
Yeah, with that.
Okay.
All right.
I'm saying that there are certain kind of sounds that people are more comfortable with.
Okay.
So if you're doing gospel and you're doing, say, rap, people are looking like, I mean, Nigeria now.
Yeah. Okay.
And I love jazz. Jazz is one of my best music. Italian music, jazz, and I love all of that. So I'm asking about the level of acceptance and the comprehension of the kind of sound you put out.
Okay.
Because jazz in itself is a bit complex, but it's very soothing and calm.
Yes.
But it's not easily understood.
Yes.
So when you now bring that layer into gospel, how do you navigate?
Okay, I discovered that music, they have different people. People want to hear the noise, and people want to listen to cool music.
Dear.
Yeah, so that's the difference. And basically, you made mention of something like rap. Now, depending on the lyrics. So the lyrics determines the nature of the pattern of the music you call it. So for me, of course, I used to do the praise, worship, and all those medley. But I told myself, in years to come, will people still listen to that same song? But there are music that when you play today, that they did like so many years ago, you still want to play them in your car. And at home, you will enjoy those music. Now, I call those music evergreen songs. So that was actually what made me to sit back and say, okay, I need to reconstruct my sound. I need to reconstruct my music. And that's why I could blend both the jazz music. And if you know the Kong jazz, you don't even understand what they're playing. But for example, let's take Asha for an example. Eyadaba, Jailer, those are songs that you just want to keep listening to.
Right.
And those kind of music actually brought me into the idea of, okay, I can actually do good music. And that's why I came up with Run.
It's beautiful. I love jazz music, whether you give me gospel or otherwise, as far as it's soothing.
Exactly.
And for gospel, particularly in Nigeria, there's Agbola Shadari.
Of course, that's one of our role models.
There you go. And there's Jonathan Butler, if you want to expand this.
From South Africa.
Yeah, from South Africa, and expand this beyond Nigeria. So you know that there's a market for it.
Yes.
There is actually a market for people who, and some of them are the big spenders. You get. And they're the big, because they want calm music.
Exactly.
There's a certain level in life when you're doing billions, you don't want loud music.
I agree.
Because loud music stresses you.
I agree.
But speak to us about how lucrative it is now. And I want you to speak specifically because Again, there's an audience that wants a certain kind of music. There's an audience that wants you to dance on TikTok.
Yes.
They want you to do challenge before they will listen to your song and all of that. So how are you able to still capture your audience in a changing world?
Okay, to be honest, that's a very strong question because that's what a lot of young musicians are actually going through right now. I've seen a couple of musicians that they had to change their sound of music in order to fit in to what is trending. But the question is, whatever is trending now wouldn't be forever. But there's a particular...
So even what is trending now, in that sense?
Yes. Okay, if you check it out, some of the trending hip-hop songs, give them 3 months down the line, another new song is on board. So, but if you do good music lives after you. I can mention Fela. Now, I'm not mentioning Fela because I want to mention Fela. If you play any of Fela's song today, it sounds as if they just recorded that song last week. Why? Because it sat down to think about so many things. Not just make noise, no. But when you play the right sound, when you play the right music, the music will live after you. And so for me, I chose to come into that place of doing the right song and doing the right sound. Though we don't have the market per se in Nigeria, because Nigeria, they all just want to listen to hip-hop. But there are still audience. Thank you, Afrobeat. But there are still audience that really are looking for good sound of music. Like I tell myself, Dayo, you're not doing music just for Nigeria. You're doing music for the world at large, which means it's going to take me a while, but I know I will get there. Because in the Western world, they appreciate such music, right? And I applied for my master's in a school in the UK. And one of the professors had to call me. They said, before we give you this admission, we need to find out if you were the one that actually, because I sent them a couple of songs that I did.
It blew their minds, right?
Yes. So he called, they fixed a Zoom meeting, and the man was like, you compose those songs and you perform those songs live? I said, yes. He said, so why do you want to come for masters? Yeah, that's what he said. University of All. And he was like, you're good already. I said, what? I just needed to explore more. That's what I told you. And that statement
actually... It's a Niger-like book now. We like
so that statement actually, that statement actually made me to believe more in myself, that you are doing the right thing, even if you don't have the finances at the moment. But, whatever you do, so when you run after success, when you run after excellence, rather, success will definitely chase after you. So I'm of that opinion. So
we cannot run away without run. I don't know how you're going to do this, but maybe you do it for us.
Okay.
I'm sure your connections are well.
Yeah, good.
Let's see how it goes with.
Okay.
So the title is
Run.
Run.
So it's on all the digital platforms. So. But I need you guys to sing, so can I teach you?
Absolutely.
No, we're ready for
you. We got this.
Yeah. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, 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 man, run. So can we do that? 1, 2, you say. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, 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 man, run. So can you just clap? 1, 2, 3. That's it. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, 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 man, run.
Where we running to?
Yeah, so it says, the best. This world, it's a journey. This life, it's a race. This universe, it's a mystery, man, run. Yeah, can we sing run? Everybody, you say it now. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, 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 man, run.
Fantastic.
Wait, that's all. I want to keep singing. It's beautiful.
Thank you so much.
What inspired that as we wind up? What inspired the song?
The song.
It's just catchy. I want to actually start running as I'm listening.
Okay, actually, from the day a child is born, that child has actually started running already. From the primary school, secondary school, to when you're gone, you're running. You're running to make things, to get things for yourself, for your family, for others. You wake up, you want to go to the office. you're running. So everything you do in life has to do with you moving. It's just talking about motion.
Yeah.
And that's to tell you that you don't need to give up on whatever you do. So you might feel that nothing is coming out for you, but don't stay. Rather stand in one place. If you can't run, you can walk. And if you can't walk, you can just run. So that's just my belief.
Just stay on the move.
Just stay on the move.
I love that.
Thank you.
And I must say, I see the cross on your
on my guitar.
On the guitar. It just
yes.
speaks to your inspiration.
Exactly.
At
it's
the heart
God,
of it.
the Holy Spirit.
So please go out there, stream, run,
Thank you.
run. I think that's why we call it the human race.
Yes.
We're always running. Ekundayo, DBass,
yes,
African gospel jazz artist. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So guess what? We're about to run.
Yes, sir.
Run.
Yeah.
Run.
I like that.
On the show.
We're on the way. Thank you so much. It's Easter holiday. Yep. Enjoy every bit of it. Have fun. Enjoy with your family. Take the children out. Whatever it is you want to do. Have a very blessed week ahead as well. Thank you for your time and company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.
Don't forget to be a source of blessing, a source of joy to others as well. That's what Jesus did. Have a great day. Sunrise Daily is next. I'm Kayode Okikili. Run.